Good, you guys got your presents. I'll go get her.
Are you ready to get your gifts?
Here you are.
Thank you. Dice you shouldn't have.
Kraken, you're up next.
Oh, thank you. More dice. Thank you.
Alright, Kaya.
Thank you. Wow. More dice.
Hello, welcome back. So the holidays are just around the corner, or maybe it's someone's birthday, and you're thinking to yourself, what can I get this person besides a set of dice? Now, don't get me wrong, if they're into D&D, if they're into board games or mini war gaming, anything like that, dice are always a great thing. But maybe they're closer to me, where one set of dice, two sets of dice, it's enough, you know? They're not going to use it, so why bother, So let's get them something else. So, I've put a little thought into it. I've convened with my council, and we've managed to hopefully solve this issue, come with a couple of ideas a little bit more out of the box. Some of them are still in the box, but at least it's not dice. So that being said, let's jump into it, see what I managed to come up with, and if any of these help to get you out of a jam, or if you like any of these ideas, let me know. Or if you have something else that I might have missed, leave it in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Alright, so without, further ado, let's just get into it, alright? So, we're here, we're looking for gifts, and easy, simplest thing still, dice. Dice-related things though, right? Let's just not go with dice, there's still dice sets. Some people love it. You can't just discount those. And there's some really nice dice out there. Yeah, metal ones, plastic ones, wood ones, pretty much anything you can think of. Someone at some point has turned it into a dice. But, there's also fancier things. For instance, dice towers, right? This one right here folds and you put the dice in it, close it, works as a dice carrier as well. If you want something more complex, there's mechanical dice towers. Put the dice in there, pull the thing, the dice come out through that little gate. Fantastic things. There's also dice bags. You got small ones made out of leather. You have giant ones for your dice goblins that just haven't been able to quite stop and keep feeding this addiction. But yeah, dice, still a big thing. Lots of different places you can go. For the dice towers, myself, I would recommend things like, shameless plug here, Black Thumb Creations, Wheatland Woodworks. Moving away from my own vested interest, there's also Wormwood. If you have more money there, get them a gaming table, 10 grand here or there, what could go wrong? Dice bags, you can find those all over the place. I would probably start with Etsy. I would, shop around, peruse those sorts of things, but fantastic gifts nevertheless. If you have a dice goblin, you don't want to get them dice, get them things that go with the dice. Moving on next, alright, so let's get away from the dice, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's stick with D&D related things. Need to look over there. I can't multitask that well. So D&D books, there's always new things coming out. There's Kickstarters all over the place. For instance, I myself, Grim Hollow. Ooh, it's a lot of layer. Great book. There's a lot of things in here, a lot of great ideas if you have a dungeon master that's open to those sorts of things, or you can stick with the Wizards of the Coast. For instance, Fizz Bands. If you watch the channel, you've probably seen the one shot. I played a Drake Ward in one of those. Can't do that unless you have this or you're on the Wikipedia. But D&D books, nevertheless, fantastic. Next thing you got there, minis or character art, and to go on further than that, if you have someone that loves a character, why not get them something that represents that character? You could get a stuffed animal if it's a ranger that has a bear. For instance, if you watch Critical Role, Vex Alley, you can find all sorts of things regarding Trinket in that manner, right? But, besides that, there's always compasses, there's bracers, if you know anyone that does a little bit of leather working. Again, Etsy, great shop to go there. Not just Etsy. I'm sure there's lots of sites that are just kind of eluding me, but my point is, find something that you think represents their character and go with that. Or if they have, for instance, a class that they really like. For instance, my sister Ariel, she loves clerics. So I would, for instance, get her like some character cards, or specifically the spell cards for clerics. You know, she's a little ADD. She loves having things to play around with, and spell cards can add something to the game. Some people absolutely love them, but I definitely make sure you know that person and know if they're into those sorts of things. I'm not a big fan of clutter myself, so cards and whatnot probably not good for me, but other people, especially if they're a dice goblin, they just like having things. Why not? You know, get them some of those things. Or pop figures. You know, if they're just big into D&D lore, stuff like that, there's a bunch of new pop figures coming out. And it doesn't even need to just be D&D, you know? Which brings me to my next thing. If we were to step away from D&D related stuff, there's still other things that you can probably imagine your friends are going to enjoy. For instance, other board games, you know, if they enjoy D&D, they like rolling dice, there's all sorts of games that have to do with that, you know. Coming to the top of my head, there's other dungeon crawler games. You have Descent, which also is just coming out with a brand new sort of thing. There is Dice Throne, specifically Dice Stone Adventures, which is coming out as well. At Baldur's Gate, you know, lots and lots and lots of board games. More than you could imagine, there's just games coming out all the time. But let's say they're not into that. Maybe they want to be cozy. You could get them some onesies. Who doesn't want to have something nice and warm to sit in? Especially if you're doing like some longer things. You're playing D&D later at night. People are staying over. Maybe it could be a D&D and movie night. Why not also get some onesies? Go with that sort of things. If, again, they're into that, you know? Or, again, going back to main... I mixed minis and painting. If they're into minis, you know, for instance, the Dungeon Master, you could get them some more minis to paint. Or you could just get them to paint themselves, you know. For that, I would probably try to poke around a little bit. You know, if you don't paint minis, you probably want to ask a few questions, see if they have a brand they like, or if you're experienced, or they want to get into painting and you're able to. Why not? You know, get them some stuff. Help them get that little push to just get started. Painting minis can be a great time. And just a really fun activity, a really fun hobby to build, you know? Moving past that, you know, and you just go, alright, well, they don't want to paint, they don't want to be comfy, they don't want dice, but they're still into games. Steam games, you know? Amazon, well, guess, doesn't Amazon have gaming service? Maybe, maybe not. But nonetheless, Steam games is still just a great way, especially if it's multiplayer and you guys want to still stick together, hang out, have fun. I would highly recommend just perusing their wish lists. You know, if you have them on Steam, you can find a lot of information about what that person may or may not want by just going through their Steam wish list. And finally, if all else fails, gift cards. It's a little bit of a cop-out, but you know, there's Amazon gift cards now. Amazon is everywhere. Not that I really want to support these guys and be like, it's fantastic, but for what they have and just the ability to go onto Amazon and find pretty much anything, it's really hard to go wrong. Or if you're close with these people, I would highly recommend get them something a bit more personal, you know, a gift card for a specific store. And I think that pretty much sums up all of the really quick, easy gift ideas that I have. I do hope that helps you guys, you know, put a little bit of thought into this. Got tired of getting dice again and again and again, so you know, maybe it's a bit of a backhanded thing, and if someone sent this to you, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but it might be time to think outside of the box and move away from just dice when getting gifts. And I think that's all I have to say, and if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Let me know what you got for Christmas, for your birthday, from other people that you play or hang out with, and I'll see you guys next time.